So one of the biggest questions that we get is how to remove and install studs. We use a stud installer. This is a snap-on tool that has a threaded collet that you would put a stud in and tighten the nut down. That allows it to grip onto the stud, and then you can unscrew it and screw it back in. If you don't have one of those stud installers and removers, and you need to install or remove the studs on an engine case, an intake manifold, carburetor, anything like that, there's a simple way of doing it. All you need to do is use two nuts that match the size of the stud. What we're going to do is just screw these nuts onto our stud. Then we are going to use two wrenches of the same size to lightly tighten the nuts onto the stud. Then when we install the stud into the engine case, and this is on a thread where the thread is still good, it doesn't need to be retapped, but it's just maybe a little bit tight, what we're going to do is just turn that outer nut with our wrench until the stud is lightly seated against its stop. Then we hold the back nut, undo our nuts, and now our stud is installed. To remove a stud, I'm just going to screw the nut on, and then a backup nut, using two of the same size wrenches, going to lightly tighten. But with this one, I'm going to use the bottom nut to unscrew the stud until it breaks loose. And then most times I can grab it with my fingers and unscrew it. When installing a stud, it's important to look at the stud that you're installing. So this is the replacement stud. We can see there's two different lengths. We have a longer portion and a shorter portion followed by a middle section. With this stud, it is designed to have the longer portion installed into the case. Another quick way to check which is the correct way to install the stud, if you already have studs installed, is to take the stud and simply hold it up against the stud you're about to install. On this, I can see that the stud is going to end up being longer on its installed height if I allow this section to stick out. If I flip it over and look at the short section plus the center section, the installed height matches the original studs installed. It's also good practice with aluminum or magnesium cases. Generally, the installed part of the stud is always going to be longer. That is to give the strength with further thread engagement all the way into the case. The other thing that we generally try to do is install a little bit of blue Loctite on the stud when we install it. We don't need a lot, only a little drop is all we're going to need. And most times, if the threads are clean enough, we should be able to just screw the stud in using our fingers.